Oh, okay. So I think I'm rolling here. I'm Oz, and this is a video on me and my Asperger's. Kind of a different little twist. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers and their takes on Aspies, as we are called. And, well, obviously I'm a person of color. Born in 1950, it is now 2020, do the math, yeah, a little older. Lived most of my life with it, obviously, but here's the rub. When did I? 2012, 8 years ago, is when it was made known to me that I had Asperger's. And it was through my purchase of a movie. I love watching movies. You can't see any of them, but I have, I don't know, 500-600 films that I own here in this small little studio. And this one film that I purchased called Adam, probably some Aspies out there that know it, starring Hugh Dancy and Rose Byrne. Did not know what it was about when I bought it. On the jacket, on the front of the jacket, it simply said, a story of two strangers, one a little stranger than the other. And it kind of, oh yeah, I like big movies, have all of the MCU, have Justice League, love Peter Jackson, his King Kong, oh my God, the trilogy, the Tolkien trilogy, all 6 of them. Fellowship, The Lord of the Rings, and then the prequel, the 3 before. Love them. But this was a little, a little quiet movie. Like I said, I'd never heard of it, but it looked interesting, so I bought it. And I come home and I put it in and I watch it. The entire film. I watched the entire film, and after the film, when it's done, it just, little light just clicks on, and I'm like, oh my God, I have Asperger's. Because the lead character, Hugh Dancy, has Asperger's. And he has severe Asperger's. Mine is mild. So I wasn't particularly seeing myself in him. And that's not what it was. I knew I had it because everything he was going through, what he was doing, I don't want to call them reactions because it's our brain, the way it's wired, so it's just who we are. But who he was in the film, I realized after the film was over that I knew why he was doing what he was doing. I knew the why. And that's how I knew I had it. Big moment. Big moment. Do the math. Born in 50. It's 2020. 8 years ago. I'd lived 6+ decades. And I'm also a pianist. Concert pianist, classical music. Started when I was 5. Yada yada. Okay, but again, that plays into it too. We have this ability to focus. And it's usually math, something creative. far as I know, I didn't ask for the piano. As far as I know, it was my mom that set me on this path. And I'm not sure if how she knew, or if she did, or if she just wanted to get me out of the house. I don't know. Took to it like a duck to water. And what I'm getting to, though, with being a pianist, being a musician, the strangeness, because I knew I was different, the strangeness got attributed to being a pianist, being a musician. Oh, I'm this way because I'm a musician, and musicians are weird and strange and yada, yada, yada. So, lots of things I'm just going to kind of go at some of the things that were in the film that he did that I did. And like I said, I knew why he did what he did. So there was, I don't want to say a big moment, but early in the film, he's sitting on the stoop. I think it's in New York. He's sitting on the stoop and he's got his computer, his laptop. And I think they've met each other at this point, so they're kind of seeing each other for the second time, or maybe this is the first time they meet. She's got one of those shopping cart kind of things. I have a couple of them for laundry, kind of big tall baskets, got 4 wheels on it, big handle on it. She's got, I don't know if it's shopping or laundry in it, she's got something, and it's heavy. So she's struggling with pulling it up the steps. Now remember, he's sitting there on his laptop, and she's passing him, and they're speaking, and she keeps struggling up the steps, and he keeps working. And that's an Aspie. And that completely, I mean, like I said, not during the movie, but afterwards. Because I'm going back and all of these things, it's like, we focus. And we're not really aware of what's going on around us. Brain is wired differently. You know, it is what it is. So there was that. He would kind of, it's like we say the wrong thing, but for us it's not saying the wrong thing, it's just we want to know. So there's like that, the societal, the social filter for this is appropriate, this isn't appropriate. A lot of that during the film. And, there was a big moment when, kind of have to tell you, his dad doesn't play a part in it, but at the beginning of the film, his dad has died. So we never see the dad. I mean, he's died. I think he's coming from the funeral. So, and obviously his dad has played a big part in doing all of those things that he couldn't do. And there's a chart on the refrigerator, Dad's chores, Adam's chores. There's a little thing that happens with that, but what I'm getting to now is he goes to the fridge and he opens the top part, the freezer. And there, lined up, are the mac and cheese dinners that he gets. All lined up. All the same thing. It was probably 10 or 11 when he first opens the freezer. And then they kind of show it going down because Dad isn't there anymore to go to the store to buy them. But it's also what I got from it really quickly was the same thing. We eat the same thing every day, all the time. Not a problem. I do switch it up after maybe a year or two, but the same thing. They showed his closet. I think he had gray suits, I think. Something. It was all the same. I only wear white shirts. So, this every day, all the time. Not starched, not pressed, not ironed. A few little wrinkles, yeah, that's even better. But white shirt. I can wear a shirt, a patterned shirt, or a shirt that's got color. I can, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then I'm like, there's no other word to say, but I am literally uncomfortable. It's like the shirt doesn't fit. It's like it's too small, but it's not too small. It's fine. I'm just uncomfortable. And the minute I come home and take it off and put on a white shirt, I'm fine. So I just wear white shirts all the time. Just all the time. It's just better. Wow. He kind of owned up to her, not really right away, that he had Asperger's. We refer to ourselves as Aspies. And kind of took her a while. Oh, yes. I'm trying to think of this one scene. It's kind of their first date. It's been set up before. She's said, but it's not really a date. She asked him to go with her, with some of her friends. I don't know if it was a bar. I'm not sure what it was, but he kind of was very hesitant with it, but said, yeah, okay. She comes to the door, and she knocks on the door, and he cannot go and answer the door. He knows what's going on. She's saying, Adam, are you there? Da, da, da. This is, well, I forgot her character's name. Claire? Might have been Claire. I don't think so, no. And he can't go. He can't go to the door to answer it. And that one was really big for me. I mean, not during the movie, not while I was watching it, like I said, because while I was watching it, no, there was no reaction to any part of the movie while I'm watching it. I was simply sitting watching this movie. But after, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I have been through that. Not able, I simply do not want to go answer the door. I don't want to go answer the door. This movie was just quite amazing for me, obviously, for that reason, to kind of show me who I was. I haven't gone to get a proper diagnosis because I don't need one. I know I haven't. I took the movie, you know, kind of everything. Whoa, sorry about that. Kind of took everything that was in the movie, all of these things that he did, just the life of somebody with Asperger's, who knows that they have Asperger's. I took all of that and I laid it over my life. And my life made sense. My life made sense. You're born with Asperger's. If you have Asperger's, you're born with it. It's usually father to son. So after this movie, I texted my brother and my sister to let them know, but also to let them know that they didn't need to worry because it's passed from father to son, and we have separate dads. So we're the half thing, but we don't ever say that about ourselves to each other. Never. It's my brother, my sister. Done. So we're born with it. Looking at the fact that I had started the piano very young, took to it very, very quickly. It's like, okay. The strangeness in my life, I didn't know. I knew I was weird and different, but I didn't. And again, like I said, I just put it off to being a pianist, being a musician. But there was an incident in high school, and it was during a performance. I was at the piano. I played at my junior high school and my high school, I played for the choir. At Audubon Junior High School in LA. You couldn't join choir until you got into the A8. You had B8, A8, B6, B, A6, B7, A7. So those first three, B7, A7, and B8, I had to be in chorus, which was in room 128. And choir was upstairs in 228. Could not wait to get into choir. So there are actually two stories with this. So the performance. This was later. Actually, the performance thing is in high school. So I'm going to go with the junior high school one first. So A8 comes along. My first day, I guess they probably had it that way because I think it was Miss Babbage. Maybe she passed along recommendations, kids that she had, and said, oh, this person would do well in choir, no, this person, no. Or maybe it was an age thing, I don't know. But anyway, so A8, I walk into 228, massive room, windows, lots of light, and the pianist at the time is playing Peter J. Wilhowsky's Battle Hymn of the Republic. It's a piece that I had played, worked on. I don't remember why. I may have heard it through a choir at church or something, anyway, and said, ooh, I like that. And so I had gotten the music and I had worked on it, I could play it. A true Aspie. I walked in, and this guy, Jerry, we became great friends, but I walked in, he's playing it, and I just simply said, as I'm walking in, oh, I can play that. And immediately got him off of the piano stool and began playing it. And the director at the time, Mr. McNeil, Al McNeil, walked in while I'm doing it. Now, the piece is not particularly a classical piece, but Jerry was a pianist also, and he was playing it like a classical piece of music. There is something in the beginning, the introduction of this piece, that there's some syncopation in the right hand, which it's a little funky. There's no other way to say it. And if you're a classically trained pianist, you're going to play it the way it's written. I'm a classically trained pianist. But I don't know how I knew, I don't know why I knew, but you've got to put that little funk in there. And it's not obvious, it's very subtle, but you got to do it. Because you have to do it. Because that's the way it should be played. And that's how I play it. And that's one of the reasons I got him off of the piano, because I heard he was playing it like straight, like a classical pianist. And I'm like, oh, in my brain, I'm going, oh, that's not how that goes. But I said, oh, I can play that. Get out of the way. It's how to play. Al walks in. From that moment on, I was the pianist for the choir. And also, he went to Dorsey. I don't know if it was before I graduated or after. I think it was before. So when I graduated and I went to Dorsey, he was already there. And I was the pianist for my entire time at Dorsey, 3 years. So a year and a half at Audubon and 3 years at Dorsey. So the other thing that happened, I was at Dorsey High School. I don't think it was my senior year. I don't think I was a senior. Junior, maybe. The choir was always entering contests. And we'd go and win. Every time. All the time. Our choirs were huge. 100, I think we were up to 120, 130 one semester. Always massive. Always massive. But we had this performance at our high school. I don't know I have Asperger's. I do not know that I'm supposed to be taking care of myself. And that correction from the don't to the do not, we don't like contractions. I can slip up and say them every once in a while, but I very rarely will write one. They don't look right. They don't look right. On my Napster account, Aspie, I have 3,000 playlists. What can I say? Because in the movie, she asked him at some point, well, how many job applications did you send out? You know, thinking 5, 10, maybe 15. 86. And she's like, okay, 86. Yeah, 3,000 playlists. What, does it everybody? It's like not a thing. But anyway, so choir, we're giving this concert at the school, at our auditorium. I have written music to the Child's Prayer that somebody else is going to sing, because I'm going to play it. I'm also, I think I'm singing in the choir, but I've also got this huge piece to play. Howard Hanson's Song of Democracy. Full choir. The piano is an orchestral reduction. It's like 10 minutes long. I mean, this thing is huge. And I had a meltdown right at the end of the Song of Democracy. While I'm playing the piano, I have a meltdown. My arms started tingling at first. And I know something's wrong. This has never, ever happened before. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? I'm still playing. And then I started losing the ability to control my hands. You know, the fine motor skills you need as a pianist. No, that was slowly going away. In my mind, it felt like I was slapping the keys with thumbs, bald fingers. That's what it felt like. It didn't sound that bad, but it was awful because this was a big piece. And what I had done, I think it was this piece, the ending had these big piano chords, which would be orchestral chords, so it's going to be big. But just to play chords on a piano is like, yeah, okay, not the greatest. So I took the very end of the Tchaikovsky Piano Concerto, the end of the third movement, and tacked it on to the end of the Howard Hanson. I think it was this one. There was another song that I might be getting confused, but that song I had to rewrite in a different key, a half step up. For some reason, the choir was going flat, and I don't think I put the ending on that. It was on the Howard Hanson. So the ending to Tchaikovsky's Piano Concerto is huge, but it was bigger. It was more. It was just full. It just worked for the song, and I went to Al and I said, I want to put this big ending on there. He was like, fine with it, yeah, cool. So obviously that didn't go well. It was my first and I was going to say my first and only meltdown. It was my first one. I had smaller ones, but they were in relationships, and that's a whole other story. So anyway, because of the emotions. We don't deal with emotions. So a relationship is like based on emotions. My brain scrambled. This is like not making sense. So anyway, Al didn't stop. I just somehow got through it, but I didn't get through it. And I remember I got up and I ran up the side aisle to the back of the auditorium where the bathrooms were. And I went in the bathroom, I'm running water on my hands. Don't ask me why I'm doing this. I don't know. I was out of school for a couple of days. My mom took me to some doctors. Of course, they couldn't find anything because Asperger's was discovered 45. The doctor's name was Asperger's, obviously. I believe he was Austrian or German. I'm not real sure. But he was doing a study on some kids in Sweden, Finland, on a whole other thing. And he kept coming across this thing, mostly in the boys, just over and over and over and over. And that's Asperger's was discovered. It bears the doctor's name that found it, Asperger's. It was so in 40. It didn't make it until the medical journals mid-90s. My meltdown was in late 60s. So unless my mom had taken me to some doctor who was truly staying up late going over medical journals or papers by people, nobody was going to know what this was. To say the least, it freaked me out. And we had a choir competition shortly after this happened. And now we're going to do Song of Democracy. I'm hesitant, but the thing, let me go back to the high school performance. I'm pretty sure it happened because I was doing so much. I played the music that I had written for the Child's Prayer. I played that with Michael singing it, Michael Wright. Think Johnny Mathis, and you got Michael Wright. Phenomenal voice. I was probably running around, being very social. Bad idea. So I get to this time to play this huge piano piece, and not my body, my brain said, see ya. I'm gone. And I'm kind of looking at it like that. So after that happened, I think after that, just kind of automatically, I kind of pulled it all back and pulled it in, kind of withdrew. I remember on the bus ride to this competition, I was very quiet. I didn't, normally I would have been talking to people and you know, whatever, how many different groups of people can I go talk to, kind of thing. Which afterwards I would do. But before, no. So I'm being very quiet, which I think helped. And somehow, and then I didn't have a lot to do. There was just this one song. I don't remember if I had to play for any of the other songs. I might have, although I know we did a cappella things. Oh God, yes, we did. Oh man, there's this eight-part choral thing that is just amazing that we did. So you have bass baritone, first and second tenor, first and second alto, first and second soprano, which a lot of high schools, they can't do that because you need a lot of people to split up those parts. And of course we were always massive, 100, 110, 120 people. I think one year we were under 100, I think we were like 95 or something, which was a small choir. I'm going to think of the name of this piece. But I know we did that.